will be greatly missed. The Senate recognizes that Senator Mana's legacy is that of a principled patriot who served loyally in peace and in conflict, in uniform and in parliament, and whose life symbolized discipline, humility, and service above self, and also recognizes that he is survived by his beloved wife, Hajia Aisha Mohammed Mana, and their 5 children, and leaves behind a grateful constituency, a state, and a nation that benefited immensely from his labors. Accordingly, the Senate resolves: 1, to observe a 1-minute silence in honor of the late Senator Mohammed Mana, and 2, to send a condolence letter to his family and the government and people of Adamawa State. Mr. Senate President, I so move, sir. Thank you so much.
Senator Adamu Mohammed Alero.
Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. I remain Muhammad Adamu Alero, representing Kebbi Central. Mr. President, I rise to second the motion ably moved by my colleague, Senator Junior. I have known Senator Colonel Mana as far back as 2007 when he served in this chamber. He was a soldier and a gentleman. He rose to the rank of colonel and retired honorably. He served this nation meritoriously. I wish to use this opportunity to condole the government and people of Adamawa over the passing away of this great patriot. I equally extend my condolences to the families of Colonel Mana. He was my neighbor at Asokoro, and we worship in the same mosque virtually on a daily basis. He was a disciplined person, highly revered, and you can hardly hurt a fly. We lost him greatly. We pray that may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant him Jannatul Firdaus A'la. I so state my distinguished colleagues.
Any other person? Senator Binodoro Yaro.
Thank you, Mr. President and distinguished colleagues. I am Binos Yaro, representing Adamawa South. I rise to support this motion brought to honor our late colleague, distinguished Senator Mohammed Mana. This senator transitioned and served meritoriously in this chamber in the past. Mr. President, Senator Mana was a distinguished Nigerian who gave his all to this country. It is therefore apt to remember him in this chamber. For this reason, Mr. Chairman, I lend my voice in support of this motion, and I ask my colleagues to also support it. In addition, I think I'll also be moving an additional prayer to request the Senate to send a delegation to condole the family and the good people of Adamawa State. I so submit.
Thank you very much. I think we should go to the prayers. Prayer 1. Observe 1 minute silence in honor of the late Senator Mohammed Mana. Those in favor of this prayer, please say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 2. Send condolence letters to the family of late Senator Mohammed Mana and the government and people of Adamawa State. Those in favor of this prayer, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Additional prayers. Senator Binos Daudayaro.
Thank you, Mr. President. Once again, Binos Yaro, Adamawa South. The additional prayer is as follows. The Senate to send a delegation to condole the family of late Senator Mohammed Mana and the government of Adamawa State.
Those in favor of this additional prayer, please say aye. Okay, seconder, please. Seconder, Senator Isa Jibrin Ochocho.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, I rise to second the additional prayer ably moved by my distinguished colleague.
Those in favor of the motion for additional, in respect of additional prayer, moved by Senator Binos and seconded by Senator Isa Jibrin, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. No, finish. Please, can we stand to observe 1 minute silence in honor of late Senator Mohammed Mana? May the soul of our late colleague, Senator Mohammed Mana, rest in perfect peace. Senator Isa Jibrin Ochocho.
Your Excellency, very distinguished colleagues, I rise under orders 41 and 51, and if His Excellency permits, may I go ahead and read?
Okay. No, you don't need to read. I mean, let's assume.
Okay.
Everybody knows that those two orders.
Okay.
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 Give the synopsis of your request.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. You know, the Ayimba Dekina Shintaku Road in Kogi East is the major road linking Kogi East to the state capital, Lokoja. Apart from that, it's also the major route for transporters or commuters from southeast and south to the northern part of the country. The road has been in a very deplorable condition. Recently, the contract for the award of the road was terminated and it has not been re-awarded. I am here to make a plea.
Well, Senator Isa Jibrin raised this matter with the Senate President, and the Senate President promised that he should bring that forward today. And he came to and met me this morning to tell me of the promise that was made to him by the Senate President. And I felt since that promise has been made, we should keep the promise. So I said he should bring it. But by our rules, we've dealt with this kind of situation, 41, 51, someone has, we don't, the latitude is given to the presiding officer to either allow you or not to allow you. But since this has been, it's a promise, you can raise it. I mean, wait, let me have the consent of the Senate, please. Sorry. Distinguished colleagues, you've heard about what he wants. Do you want him to go ahead with the motion? Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. You may summarize,
Okay, all right, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues. The Senate notes that Ayimba Dekina Shintaku Road in Kogi East is a federal road and one of the best transportation routes which links the South Nigeria. Further notes that they provide employment opportunities for many inhabitants. Concerned that the Ayimba Dekina Shintaku Road has been in a deplorable state, with commuters now resorting to the longer Lokoja Jakarta Ayimba route. Aware that in the 1980s, when the Ayimba Dekina Shintaku Road was motorable, commuters used to spend an average of 40 minutes on the road, but now spends over 4 hours due to the deplorable condition of the road. Further aware that the road corridor serves as a vital link between communities in Kogi East Kogi State Capital, Lokoja, and the Federal Capital, Abuja, as well as the Southeast and South-South geopolitical zones. Cognizant that the Federal Executive Council, at its meeting held on Wednesday, 26 January 2022, approved the award of the contract for the reconstruction of the road. Further cognizant that the contract was awarded by the then Federal Ministry of Works and Housing to Tech Engineering Company Nigeria Limited, with a later dated 3rd February 2022. But the contract was recently revoked due to delays in execution by the contractor and has not yet been re-awarded. Realize that the federal government's innovative approach to infrastructure development through special fundings, such as the Sukuk bonds, which have successfully funded strategic road projects across Nigeria, is a credible and viable alternative funding mechanism for the Anyigba-Dikina-Shintaku Road project. Convinced that the introduction of toll gates on the Anyigba-Dikina-Shintaku Road, when completed, will be a veritable source of income to defray the cost of the reconstruction of the road and provide sufficient funds for the maintenance of the road thereafter. Conscious that the completion of the road will enhance the water transportation system on Shintaku Lokoja waterways, as ferry services to convey light and heavy vehicles, as well as speedboat activities, will be reactivated. Further conscious that reactivation of the water transportation between Lokoja and Shintaku will significantly enhance income-generating capacity of the national inland waterways in Lokoja through collection of fees from the use of the waterways. Accordingly, the Senate resolves to urge the Federal Ministry of Works to consider the use of a special purpose fund for the completion of the Anyigba-Dikina-Shintaku Road. Secondly, the Senate equally urged the Federal Ministry of Works to provide toll gates at both ends of the road upon completion to generate revenues to defray the cost of the construction of the road and provide sufficient funds for the maintenance of the road thereafter. I so submit. Thank you very much.
A seconder. You are not from Bedway, Kogi. But anyway, Chief, go ahead.
Thank you, Chief.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, my name is Mohamed Tahir Monguno. I represent Borno Senatorial District. Mr. President, once you are a distinguished senator, you are a senator representing the whole of Nigeria. Therefore, this motion is pan-Nigerian in nature because it's a very good corridor that links the north and the south. So my contribution in support of this motion is to the effect that this motion is timely, especially against the background of the fact that Mr. President will soon present the 2026 budget. And for every kobo that the federal government must spend, it has to be appropriated for by the National Assembly. So, because of the importance of this road, I urge that in the prayer, we should include that it should be captured in the 2026 appropriation bill so that it can be executed, because without appropriation, it cannot be executed. Thank you.
So can we go? It's very direct. Can we just go to the prayers? Very straightforward. Prayer one, all the Federal Ministry of Works to consider the use of a special purpose fund for the completion of the Anyigba-Dikina-Shintaku Road. Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer B, all the Federal Ministry of Works to provide toll gates or at both ends of the road upon completion to generate revenues to defray the cost of the construction of the road and provide sufficient funds for the maintenance of the road thereafter. Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Additional prayer, Chief Whip.
Mr. President, in line with my submissions, I want to make an additional prayer. The additional prayer is that the request for the reconstruction of the road in question should be considered or should be put in the 2026 appropriation bill.
You want to second the prayer? Chief Whip, you know you are the Deputy Chairman of Appropriation Committee. You know you have the renewed hope infrastructure fund. Why not request that it should be put there? It's better.
Thank you for the guidance, Mr. President. My prayer is to the effect that the road in question should be included in the infrastructure fund.
New Hope Infrastructure Fund.
Renewed Hope Infrastructure Fund. Thank you.
So, seconder, you want to second? Minority leaders. Okay, so you can second. You can second this one first.
Mr. President, I second the motion, the additional prayer made by the Chief Whip of the Senate. I so second.
Those in favor of the additional prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Point of order.
Minority leader.
Point of order.
Wait first. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues.
You know, minority leader is angry. A lot of his members are coming to the ruling party. So he's an angry man.
So
treat him.
They should be very careful with me. They should be very careful with me. Mr. President, I actually wanted to second this motion by my brother here, Senator Chocho, and of course make some little comments. But since that has passed, I want to make an additional prayer here, because in the country now, if you ask many people, they will tell you that there are similar problems where contracts have been revoked and they have not been re-awarded, and the roads are in very deplorable conditions. Sometimes mobilization becomes a problem. The Oweto Otukpo Road, for instance, has a contract awarded generously by the government, but the contractor has not been mobilized.
You want to include
and
Otukpo Road?
We have a very big
just go to your motion. You want to include Otukpo Road?
Roundabout. So I want to add as additional prayer that similar contracts that have been awarded that have not been funded or whose contracts have been terminated should also be revived.
Let me help you. You want Otukpo Road, your road, to be part of this. Don't dilute the motion. Just add that Otukpo Road should be added. It's better for you.
Yes.
But if you make it so wide, your own will be lost.
Mr. President, I'm well
so
guided.
just mention Otukpo Road.
I'm well guided. I want the Adoka roundabout that is in very deplorable condition now to be also included in this arrangement.
A seconder, please. Seconder. Minority leader. Minority Whip.
Sir. I want to second with this. That's why we were raising our hands, sir.
Can you follow procedure? You have to be recognized before you speak.
Look at your rule.
Look at your rule book.
Look at your rule book. My eye did not catch you. So my eye caught him.
Eyes have not caught him, and he wants to speak. Mr. President, I rise to second the motion as moved by the minority leader that the roundabout that he mentioned should be included in the projects that are going to be executed. I so move.
Before I put the question, you know, he was vehement in his effort to second the motion because he passes through that area to Enugu. He's his neighbor. So that's why he's concerned. And you are concerned because you are also from Benue State. So you have the same interest, you know. So those in favor of the motion for additional prayer, please say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Thank you very much for bringing forward this motion. It shows the concern you have for your people. And this is what a good legislator should do, be open doing in addressing the concern of your people. I'm sure your people out there are very happy with you, and that's why you've been voted, back to back, to come to the Senate. Please continue on this, route that you've taken to serve your people. Thank you very much.
Point of order.
Senator Nelda.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, please allow me to come under order 42, personal explanation. If you permit me, I read.
Yes, go ahead. You had sought my permission. You can do that.
By the indulgence of the Senate and the leave of the President of the Senate, a senator may make a personal explanation.
You can go ahead. You can go ahead, no problem. We are familiar. Everybody's familiar with that order. So you can continue. Read your...
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, this is a motion on the demise of Former Inspector General of Police Dr. Solomon Ehigato Arase, retired, CFR, NPN, FDC. Senate notes with profound sadness the passing of Dr. Solomon Ehigato Arase, CFR, NPN, FDC, on the 18th Inspector General of Police of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who transited on August 31st, 2025, at the age of 69 years, leaving behind a legacy of professionalism, courage, and integrity in national service. Also note that Dr. Solomon Arase, born on 21st of June 1956 in Edo State, joined the Nigerian Police Force in 1981 and rose through the ranks with an unblemished record, holding several strategic positions, including Commissioner of Police, Akwa Ibom State Command, Assistant Inspector General of Police, the Force Intelligence Bureau, and head of the Criminal Intelligence and Investigation Bureau. Recalls that in April of 2015, he was appointed Inspector General of Police by former President Goodluck Jonathan and served meritoriously until June 2016, during which he deepened the practice of intelligence-led policing, promoting community engagement, strengthened counter-terrorism strategies, and introduced far-reaching reforms aimed at professionalizing the Nigerian police force. Further recalls that upon retirement, Dr. Arase continued to serve the nation with distinction as chairman of the Police Service Commission, PSC, where he upheld discipline in that regard. Further recalls that upon retirement, Dr. Arase continued to serve the nation with distinction as chairman of the police service, where he upheld principles of merit, fairness, and accountability in recruitment, promotion, and discipline, thereby strengthening police oversight and police trust. Aware that his intellectual contributions as a legal practitioner, researcher, and author of seminal works on law, security, and human rights enriched Nigerian security studies and jurisprudence. Further aware that Dr. Arase was widely respected for his humility, courage, and incorruptibility, and for mentoring a generation of police officers and scholars who continue to benefit from his wisdom and leadership. Concerned that the great loss his death represents not only to his immediate family and the people of Edo State, but also to the Nigerian Police Force, the Police Service Commission, the Nigerian nation, and the international security community. Accordingly, urge the Senate resolves to 1. Observe a 1-minute silence in honor of the late Dr. Solomon Ehigato Arase, CFR, NPM, FTC. 2. Send a high-powered Senate delegation to condole with his family, the Nigerian Police Force, the Police Service Commission, the government, and people of Edo State. 3. Urge the federal government to immortalize his name by naming a national security institution or police training facility after him in recognition of his outstanding service and enduring legacy. 4. Convey the condolences of the fallen to the family and assure them of the nation's gratitude for his sacrifice and service. Distinguished colleagues, in Dr. Solomon Ehigato Arase, Nigeria has lost a patriot, a reformer, and a distinguished officer whose life epitomized duty, honor, and service. His death is a solemn reminder of the need to continue building institutions he works tirelessly to strengthen. And may his soul rest in perfect peace. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. He came under Order 42, personal explanation. Order, please. So no debate is to be done in respect of this motion because it came under personal explanation. The only thing we can do, I can do as a presiding officer, is to lend my voice that being someone who served this country meritoriously, who helped to reposition the police force in this country as an outstanding IGP, It was under his watch that the 2019 election was conducted, and it was adjudged to be free and fair. He contributed immensely to how the election in terms of security was conducted. He has done very well for this nation. And the only thing you can do at this moment is to pray that may his soul rest in perfect peace. Thank you very much for bringing forward this matter to the floor of the Senate. Thank you very much. The Leader of the Senate. It's personal explanation, no prayer. It is only a motion that you put the prayers to vote. It's just personal explanation, and he has done that, and that is noted by the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the first business of the day is the presentation of a House bill standing in the name of the Leader of the Senate on the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Act Amendment Bill 2020 HB 315. Mr. President,
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Act Amendment Bill 2025 HB 315, first reading.
Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Act Amendment Bill 2025 HB 315, first reading taken. The Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the second business of the day is the presentation of a House bill standing in the name of the Senate Leader on the Chartered Institute of Mentoring and Life Coaching of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2025 HB 753. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
The Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Chartered Institute of Mentoring and Life Coaching of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2025 HB 753, first reading.
Chartered Institute of Mentoring and Life Coaching of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2025 HB 753, first reading taken. The Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the third business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of His Excellency, distinguished Senator Barau Jibril, on the Microbiology Council of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2025 SB 912. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
The Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Microbiology Council of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2025 SB 912, first reading.
Microbiology Council of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2025 SB 912, first reading taken. The Clerk of the Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the fourth business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of most distinguished Senator Ume Victor on the Birth, Death, etc. Compulsory Registration Act, Repeal and Enactment Bill 2025 SB 913. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Birth, Death, etc. Compulsory Registration Act, Repeal and Enactment Bill 2025 SB 913, first reading.
Distinguished colleagues, Birth, Death, etc. Compulsory Registration Act Repeal and Enactment Bill 2025, SB 913, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the fifth business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of most distinguished Senator Sulaiman Umar Sadiq on the Patent Right and Design Act, Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2025, SB 914. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Patent Right and Design Act Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2025, SB 914, first reading.
Distinguished colleagues, Patents Rights and Design Act Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2025, SB 914, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, the uncommon President of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and very distinguished colleagues, the first order of the day is a motion standing in my name on the rescission and recommittal of the National Identity Management Commission Repeal and Enactment Bill 2025 to the Committee of the Whole. Mr. President, with your permission, I wish to move the motion.
Please proceed.
Mr. President and distinguished colleagues, motion on recommittal of a bill. Rescission and recommittal of the National Identity Management Commission Repeal and Enactment Bill 2025. The Senate recalls that the National Identity Management Commission Repeal and Enactment Bill 2025 was passed by the Senate and the House of Representatives and was forwarded to the Clerk to the National Assembly for onward transmission to the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for assent. Senate informed that after critical examination of the bill, the Directorate of Legal Services of the National Assembly observed some fundamental issues which require fresh legislative action on the bill.
Yeah, Senator Ositango, sorry, leader. Senator Ositango, please go back to your minority seat. Please go back to your minority seat. Not officially inform us.
This is the motion.
That seems to be a rumor.
It is the motion I'm moving now. You will second it. Yes, sir. Aware that a technical committee on the Senate Mr. President, I apologize for the little distraction there. Our most ranking distinguished Senator Adamu Alero was only trying to uphold our rules. Distinguished Senator Osita Ungu was received by you and the Vice President on behalf of Mr. President into APC yesterday in Enugu. Was a glorious day. However, in this red chamber, his letter is yet to be read.
Is it part of
that
is it part of your
cross-carpeting.
motion?
I was only.
So your speech and that of the leader all noted.
Thank you.
Continue.
Thank you, sir. So, Mr. President and distinguished colleagues, aware that the Technical Committee of the Senate, the House of Representatives, and the Directorate of Legal Services met and worked on the bill. And the Senate, relying on its Order 1B and 52B of its standing orders, accordingly resolves to reinstate its decision on the bill as passed and recommit same to the Committee of the Whole for reconsideration and passage. I so move, Mr. President.
Is the minority leader in tune with this?
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I second the motion moved by the Senate leader for the rescission and recommittal of the National Identity Management Commission Repeal and Enactment Bill 2025. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded. Those in support that this bill be rescinded as earlier passed and same to be recommitted to the Committee of the Whole for reconsideration and passage, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Currently, leader of the Senate, proceed.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, I rise to move that the Senate do now resolve to a Committee of the Whole for further consideration of this motion. Thank you.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I second the motion that the Senate resolves into the Committee of the Whole to further consider the bill. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So we resolve into a Committee of the Whole for further consideration of the bill. Distinguished colleagues, National Identity Commission Repeal and Enactment Bill 2025. Those in support that the long title on page 1 form part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Those in support that clauses 1 to 5 form part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clauses 6 to 10. Those in support that clauses 6 to 10 form part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clauses 11 to 20. Those in support that clauses 21 to 30. If you note, everything is return. Those in support that those clauses 21 to 30 form part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clauses 31 to 40. Those in support that clauses 31 to 40 form part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. In specific terms, interpretation clause, which is on page 39, page 25, but clause 39. Those in support that this form part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Specifically, the short title is on clause 40 of page 26. Those in support that this form part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, sitting as chair, very distinguished colleagues, I rise to move that the Senate reverse to plenary to enable the chairman report progress. I so move.
The minority leader for now.
Mr. President, sitting as chair, I second the motion that the Senate reverse to plenary to enable the chair report progress.
Distinguished colleagues, after due consideration of the bill clause by clause. Yes, observation, my leader.
Distinguished President, just an observation. I don't want to bring us really back on the issue that should be there. But my observation here relates to this section 4 of the bill. That is the membership of the commission, sir. When you observe
on page
2.
Page 2.
Now, it appears that, and I want the Senate leader to look at it very clearly, to note my observation very clearly, because this bill is on sushi. Take section 4 of the bill. Section 4. Now, there is a part-time chairman. Then all the others are ex officio from other agencies of government. Apart from the ex officio, there is only one director general. The chairman of the board is part-time. The other members who are appointed, 2 of them, from outside the government, are also part-time. So what is happening here now is that you have a sole director general who is more or less like one single person handling the sole administrator handling the affairs of the commission. There are no other executive directors in the commission. So what you are establishing really is a one-man dictatorship, one-man show. One-man show. All the other members of the commission are ex officio. Those who are not ex officio are part-time, including the chairman. The only person who is permanent is the director general. Now you are creating a behemoth. And this commission is a very, very, very important commission. Because at the end of the day, it identifies every Nigerian, and it's the work of the commission that is going to be responsible for identifying Nigerians and for even voting at the end of the day is the national identity management card that is going to be eligible across the board to identify Nigerians for either services or access to government services and government welfare support. So I think there is a need, sir, for us to reconsider this particular section, because it's very injurious, to the work of the commission and to the healthy democracy that we want to help establish in this country. Thank you, sir.
Yes, leader, do you have any comment on that? Otherwise, I would like to call for comment from the chairman of the Senate Committee on National Population Commission and National Identity Card. Yes, Chairman, Senator Ome, do you have any comment on what distinguished Senator Yaya has just said? No, it's expected that if you're not here, you'll be watching on television. We have live streaming.
Mr. President, I'm not aware of the comment. I just stepped in.
Okay, so sit down. Let Senator Wako, yes, try to fill you in before you make your comment.
Okay.
Mr. President, my dear colleagues, my name is Aliu Yamamaku. I turn to second the observation rightly made by Senator Yaya from Kebbi State. Mr. President, when we are submitting a commission, normally a commission has either permanent commissioners or permanent EDs that operate with the DG or whoever is managing that commission. They're going to be a commission just for a single person to run. Like it's relevant that all the appointments are part-time based, on part-time basis. So the DG is alone sitting in the commission. I cannot be a commission headed by a commission of only one DG. The tradition of civil service here is it was never that so. It was never that practice, Mr. President, to do such a commission, a one-person commission. So I think we should go ahead to recommend maybe 6 directors based on geopolitical zones of this country, one per each zone, to sit down with the DG and with other members to operate in that very commission. This is a very sensitive and important commission for this country. Thank you, Mr. President. So submit. Thank you.
Yes, the leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, sitting as chair,
you may wish to approach the chair.
Oh, I should approach the chair?
Yes.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Resume your seats.
Distinguished Senator, please take your seats. Mr. President, the chamber is ready. Distinguished Senator Ekpeyon, please.
Distinguished Senator Ume. Distinguished Senator Ume, what is worth doing is worth doing well. So we didn't waste time for nothing. We want to get it right because we don't make laws for ourselves, whereby it appears as if we are making law for an individual. These laws are meant to outlive us, and if they are well crafted, we are looking at 50 years, 100 years from now, that we don't need for any amendment. So, distinguished Senator Yaya, your observation is upheld. Leader, propose what we ought to do.
Mr. President, sitting as chair, very distinguished colleagues, following our consultation with the chair, we most respectfully invite a distinguished colleague to please turn to page 6 and section 9 of the proposed bill. Actually, part 4 on page 6. So, we are proposing an amendment to subsection 9(1) to begin with. Part 4 provides for the Director General and staff of the Commission. So 9(1) should now read, or is being proposed to read, there shall be for the Commission a Director General and 6 commissioners representing the 6 geopolitical zones, who shall, A, be appointed by the President. Again, we are amending where you have on the recommendation of the supervising authority. We will delete on the recommendation of the supervising authority and leave it at be appointed by the President subject to confirmation by the Senate. We believe the President should have the prerogative to make this appointment and recommendation to the Senate without talking about any other supervising authority. Then subsection B of 9. We are also proposing to add the words, the Director General shall be the Chief Executive Officer responsible for the day-to-day administration of the Commission. So just the words, the Director General shall, is what we will introduce before the statement that we have there right now. Then subsection 2 of the same section 9 on page 7, where you have the Director General shall, we are adding the words and the commissioner. So it will now read, the Director General and the commissioners shall possess professional skills and at least 15 years cognate experience in any of the following fields. So we leave it as it is. Then subsection 3. Subsection 3, the Director General, again, will add the words and the commissioners shall hold office. The Director General and the commissioners shall hold office. So we leave everything as it is. Then if you can now turn with me.
But there you are saying the Director General and the commissioners shall hold office for a term of 4 years.
Yes.
In the first instance, and may be reappointed for a final
4 years
term of 4 years.
No more.
And no more.
Yes. And then please finally turn with me again to page 3, where we have the tenure of office. Sorry? 3, 4, 3.
Yes.
Okay. 9.
Yes.
Okay. 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 Yes, thank you. 3, 4. Say the Director General shall. So we also add the words and the commissioners. The Director General and the commissioners shall cease to hold office where every other thing there is retained. Then page 3, section 5, that deals with tenure of office. So 5.1, that says the chairman and members of the board, other than ex officio, we also add commissioners there. The chairman, then inverted comma, commissioners and members of the board. And that would be it, my lord. That would be it, Mr. President, sitting as chair.
Thank you for promoting me to a justice of the Supreme Court. Okay. Distinguished colleagues, the proposal has been made, and I would like distinguished Senator Yaya, do you second the proposals as made?
Mr. President, sitting as chairman, distinguished colleagues, I rise to second the motion heavily read by the leader of the Senate on the necessary amendments that have been made to this bill for the consideration of the Senate. I so second.
Thank you. Distinguished colleagues, if in the opinion of the Senate, this is more inclusive and will assist in the proper management of the commission and at the same time satisfy the yearnings of all the geopolitical zones of the country. Those in support, can you say aye? Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. So for elegance, the leader of the Senate, for elegance, this will still be sent to the legal drafting team to ensure, and thereafter we'll go into conference committee to get it embedded in the bill before sending it for assent by the president.
Mr. President, sitting as chair, very distinguished colleagues, I rise to move that the Senate reverts to plenary to enable the chairman report progress. I so move.
Mr. President, sitting as chair, distinguished colleagues, I second the motion that the Senate reverse to plenary to enable the chair report progress. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that the chairman reverse to plenary to report progress. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, the Senate in the Committee of the Whole considered the National Identity Commission Repeal and Enactment Bill 2025 and approved as follows. Long title as recommended. Clauses 1 to 4 as recommended. Clause 5 as amended. Clause 6 to 8 as recommended. Clause 9 as amended. Clauses 10 to 38 as recommended. Clause 39, which is the interpretation clause as recommended. Clause 40, the short title as recommended. Explanatory memorandum, schedules, etc. as embedded in the bill. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the committee of the whole? Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, I rise to move that the bill be now read for the third term. I so move.
As amended.
Well said, Mr. President, as amended.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I second the motion that the bill as amended be read a third time. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in support that this bill as amended be now read a third time, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to repeal the National Identity Management Commission Act, number 23, 2007, to establish the National Identity Database and the National Identity Management Commission charged with the responsibilities of maintaining the National Identity Database, registration of individuals, and issuance of identity credentials, and for related matters, 2025, third reading.
Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to repeal the National Identity Management Commission Act number 23, 2007, to establish the National Identity Database and the National Identity Management Commission charged with the responsibilities of maintaining the National Identity Database, registration of individuals, and issuance of identity credentials, and for related matters 2025, third reading taken. Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to repeal the National Identity Management Commission Act number 23 of 2007 to establish the National Identity Database and the National Identity Management Commission charged with the responsibilities of maintaining the National Identity Database, registration of individuals, and issuance of identity credentials, and for related matters 2025, third reading taken and passed. Let me thank the chairman of the National Population and National Identity Commission, of the Senate for a wonderful job, and even to also thank our colleagues in the House of Representatives, and particularly thank distinguished Senator Yahya for the very crucial amendment, which will make the management of the Commission much more effective, much more representative, and at the same time will meet the yearnings of all the critical sectors of the nation. It's a very, very important commission. And thank my colleagues and thank the leader of the Senate and also the chairman of the Senate Committee on Judiciary and Legal Matters, very distinguished senior advocate of Nigeria, Niyi Adegbomire, for his elegance and his craftsmanship in legal drafting. And thank all distinguished senators for their contributions. And pray that this bill, when it finally gets to the president, will meet his assent as amended, and at the same time will help to ensure proper management of the population of Nigeria and its and the registration of individuals and associated matters. I thank you all for your cooperation and your contributions. Leader of the Senate. DSP, you may wish to approach the chair.
Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished colleague, the second order of the day is the second reading of the Sickle Cell Disorder Research and Therapy Center Establishment Bill 2025 SB 893. The distinguished senator will recall that the bill was read the first time in this chamber on Thursday, 10th of July, 2025. Mr. President, you may wish to invite Senator Katung Sunday Marshall to move the motion for the bill to be read the second time.
Senator Sunday Marshall Katung, you may wish to move the motion for the bill to be read the second time. The floor is yielded to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Sunday Marshall Katum. I represent the people of Kaduna South Senatorial District, and I'm from Kaduna State. Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, permit me to lead this debate on a bill for an act to establish the Sickle Cell Disorder Research and Therapy Centers, while also craving your indulgence to highlight the background of the bill towards providing justification for the Senate to pass the bill into law. My distinguished colleagues, the bill seeks to establish the sickle cell centers in each of the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, and also make comprehensive provisions for the due administration of the centers. The structure of the bill. The bill is made up of 27 clauses bordering on the establishment of the sickle cell centers, the board of management, functions of the centers, composition of staff, powers of the board of management, financial provisions of the centers, and general or miscellaneous provisions of the centers. Objectives of the bill. The objectives of the bill are to, 1, provide a legal and institutional framework for the establishment of 6 sickle cell disorder and therapy centers, with 1 in each geopolitical zones in Nigeria, and to provide for the due management and administration of the sickle cell centers. 2, provide facilities for diagnosis, curative, rehabilitative services for sickle cell disorder, as also improve access to specialized sickle cell disorder care, improve data collection and research, support education and assistance for patients, families, providers, and communities affected by sickle cell disorders. Justification for the bill, Mr. President. Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, sickle cell disorder is the most common inherited disorder in tropical Africa, with over 650 children dying per day, and majority of the children with the most severe form of the disorder dying before the age of 5. Poignantly, Nigeria is regarded as the global epicenter of the sickle cell disorder, contributing about half of the estimated 300,000 newborns with sickle cell disorder annually. My distinguished colleagues, it is worthy of note that these dismal statistics are in sharp contrast to outcomes in high-income countries, where more than 90% of sickle cell disorder patients reach adulthood. Also worthy of note, Mr. President, is that the last few decades have witnessed remarkable scientific progress in the understanding of the complex nature of the disorder, as improved clinical insights have heralded development and establishment of disease-modifying interventions. My highly respected colleagues, despite these global tremendous scientific strides made in the study and treatment of sickle cell disorder, current evidence suggests that Nigeria still records a very high rate of sickle cell disorder complications and mortality rate amongst patients. This is because Nigeria lags behind in the implementation of diagnostic treatment plans that have worked in the developed countries, hence the continued high sickle cell disorder morbidity and mortality rates. Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, it is my humble submission that establishing the Sickle Cell Disorder Research and Therapy Center, as proposed in this bill, would provide apt care to patients of sickle cell disorder, and by locating one center in each geopolitical zone, increase the reach and spread of such care to Nigerians. In conclusion, accordingly, and in accordance with Order 76, subsection 3 of the Senate Standing Rules as amended, I have attached herewith details of the financial implications of the bill for general information of distinguished senators. With every sense of humility, my distinguished colleagues, I urge you all to unreservedly support this bill for second reading. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Senator Sita.
Thank you, Mr. President, for opportunity to second this bill. Mr. President, sickle cell disorder is a disorder mostly that people get without no fault of theirs. Mr. President, there is no gainsaying. This is completely necessary that a disorder that people get, being a sickle cell patient, comes from a genetic transmission that these children do not know. It's unlike HIV, where they said when you use condom, you can prevent HIV. But people become sickle cell patients because of maybe ignorance of their parents, especially people from the rural communities who are not enlightened, who are not opportune to understand the genetic matching. And sometimes you can imagine how many deaths we record daily out of sickle cell. And I don't think we have paid attention to this enough. So this bill is completely timely. It will have come before now, but no time is late for us to have centers where we can provide therapy for sickle cell patients.
You have 1 second remaining. 1 second remaining.
I have experience where a friend of mine who has 3 sickle cell patients, I know what these parents go through. Probably out of carelessness of parents, the children are suffering that. But if we have centers where succor can be provided, it is going to go a long way in providing therapy and saving lives of people who have issues that is not a fault of theirs. So I second this motion, this bill.
Thank you.
And
Thank
I hope
you,
everybody will support it so it can be
Thank you, Chief Whip. You have the floor.
Thank you.
You have 2 minutes, then we pass down to Buhari, and then to Adebule, and then down here to Senator Abdul Dingi, and then Plank.
Okay, my name is Mohamed Tahir Monguno. I represent Borno North Senatorial District. Mr. President, the panacea to stop the avalanche of sickle cell disorder in the country is for the relevant authorities to embark upon sensitization of the general public to undergo tests before marriage, so that the blood group of the two parents will match I don't know the scientific terms, but I know it's either OO or something like that. I know the
Chief, we're
it is-
talking about prevention now. Talking about the cure. Is
Oh,
the
we are-
cure. The cure.
Oh, yes, we are talking about the cure. Now, I am now suggesting that there should be mass sensitization and information given out by the relevant authorities to Nigerians so that their genotype will match before marriage, because one of the causes of the sickle cell disease is mismatch of the blood group between the two parents. So once there is sensitization and then this test is being done where the blood does not did not correspond, then I think the marriage should be aborted instead of bringing untold hardship to the parents.
Thank you. Is adding a new dimension to the bill. Maybe by the time we go further, there will be an amendment at the later stage of the process of the bill to bring in issue of prevention. But now the bill is, clearly talking about cure. So thank you for that.
Mr. President.
Please, we allot just one minute because so many people want to speak on it.
Mr. President, Buhari Abdul Fattah, or not. Mr. President, this bill is very, very timely. When you look at the percentage it's quoting here, is very, very, very high. And then the cure is becoming enormous for the parents. There are some family, they even have more than 1, 2, 3. And then if you see the expenses involved by hospital, particularly private hospital, in charging them, there's no way they can match it. That is one of the reasons why I agree with the Chief Whip that let's do the prevention, even along with the cure. Because most people don't even know their genotype. Even here, when you do sample, people don't even know their genotype. You see AS marrying SS. It's risky. Or SS and SS. It's risky. So prevention is far, far better than cure. It's always better than, you can even be an SS and marry AA. They will tell you, but most people don't even have the enlightenment and the education to even know whom to marry. Having said this, even the cure, some people, because of the societal thinking, they are not even ready to take the children to the hospital. You now see them, just like somebody said now that he is Babalawo. How can you be taking a sickle cell to Babalawo? So with this thing, I think we need...
Okay, he has withdrawn that Babalawo issue. So you have withdrawn it, right?
Mr. President, thank you very much for protecting me. And I think we need it for each geopolitical zone. Particularly, it should be set up in a rural area where people will really need it, enlightening them and curing those who have it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Senator Ningi, you have 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senator Ningi, representing Bauchi Central or Bauchi State. Mr. President, this is essentially a black man disease. Essentially a black man disease. There are no white people who have sickle cell, scientifically speaking. And therefore, because Nigeria is the centerpiece of Africa, the largest country in Africa, look at the statistics all across Africa, half of the patients are Nigerians. It is essentially because of our population. So this is a landmark legislation, and I would like to commend my very good friend Khartoum, our mayor here, for bringing in this particular legislation. It is a good thing to pursue cure, Mr. President. A lot of people talked about SS, APA, and DS. And yes, that is what the scientific community have been able to find out. But you see, this discovery is just about 20, 30 years ago. And African countries have existed for more than 5,000 years. And therefore, it is important, once you have the cure, then everybody will go and marry anybody that he likes. So it is important we get the cure in place. And why we have not gotten the cure, Mr. President, is because the developed countries do not have this random of this illness. Because it's essentially a black man disease. And I think we should pursue this thing with all attention it deserves.
Thank you. Senator Adebule, then Dicket Plan and then Senator Natasha.
Your Excellency, the Senate President, my name is Idiat Oluroti Adebule. I represent the good people of Lagos West. I want to commend the initiator of this bill, Senator Katun. This is very important in the sense that this is a significant public health issue for us in Nigeria. It accounts for a large percentage of mortality, particularly in children in Nigeria. So setting up centers that will cater for the cure of the disease is something that is very germane, something that we require to protect our young ones from dying early. And so therefore, Mr. President, I support this
Thank you.
This bill.
Thank you. Time is off. Thank you.
Thank you.
Senator Dickey, you've been very vehement trying to contribute. Are you a native doctor or are you a doctor or a native doctor?
Sir, I have
okay, you can go ahead, no problem.
Thank
go
you,
ahead,
sir.
go ahead.
President of the Senate, distinguished colleagues, I am Senator Dicket Plan. I represent Plateau Central. President of the Senate, I rise again to also commend Senator Sunday Marshall for this wonderful bill. Sir, this genetic disease is very unfortunate, and it affects someone who knows not, but very innocent in it. I remember when we were in schools, it's more prevalent at the early age of a patient that has it. The younger you are, the more often are the attacks. And it affects people at the period they're supposed to be stable to either study or to attend to their professional attainment. And therefore, any effort, methods, availing more medical centers, availing access, and then providing, equipping hospital for it is commendable, sir. If the more we have more facilities, it gives room for people to make a choice. I am one of those that had a friend that was about to marry, and they loved each other very well. But on the test, they were told that the marriage will not work because they are both AS and AS. And you could see how it can deny fundamental will of a person. So I wish that the more we have centers for this treatment, the better it is for us.
Remaining, 1 second.
Yes, sir. I therefore wish that this bill will be accelerated in terms of treatment for us to have this work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Senator Natasha.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. I'm Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, I represent the courageous people of Kogi Central. I would like to appreciate Senator Sunday Marshall Katung for sponsoring this very critical bill on the establishment of the sickle cell disorder research and therapy centers in the 6 geopolitical zones. My only contribution here is that rather than establishing them as isolated centers, they should be made appendages to the university teaching hospitals in these 6 geopolitical zones. This is mainly to strengthen and broaden and also deepen the research and the therapies, considering the fact that there have been some innovative treatments worldwide, especially with regards to utilization of stem cell therapies in treating patients. So to simplify the establishment process and to curb the excess financial entanglements, it will be critical that these centers are established in hospitals, particularly university teaching hospitals in these 6 geopolitical zones. Thank you so much.
Senator Simon Lalon, then the last but not the least, our medical director here will round off the debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Simon Lalong, representing the good people of Plateau South. Mr. President, I also stand to support this bill. One, for me and Katum, I've always seen him as not very good man, but today for this bill, I've started with him. Mr. President, the emphasis is on cure. It's already a disease that is with us, whether we like it or not. Somebody said avoidance is also supposed to be part of the reason. But I say no. You cannot legislate on love. I have a personal experience, like the kid said. You can't legislate love. When it comes to issue of love, somebody will say this is heirs, this is heirs. You will say no, let's go into it. God will help us. At the end of the day, God may help them, but it may not help their children. So this emphasis on the cure, and that cure also supported by some financial benefits that will assist the poor, because it's usually the poor. If you have money, you can tolerate that. But you don't have money, it is difficult to even tolerate. So I support this bill, and I think
Thank you, Thank you, Senator
Mr. President.
Nelda. And then, of course, Senator, look, we have a medical director here. Let's hear from him. Nelda, I give you half a minute, so then we hear
Half a
from medical
minute.
doctor.
All right.
The Babalawo doctor, Senator Garba.
All right, thank you very much, Mr.
Yes,
President.
yes, have a minute.
Distinguished colleagues. The issue of sickle cell is a very serious one, and as the statistics truly says, is very much with us. But we should also emphasize so much on prevention, because prevention will actually do the magic. In some climes, before you get married, you are required to have your genotype. And then you are advised, assuming AS is proposing to marry AS, you are advised at that point of the dangers that you'll be getting yourself into if you proceed with the marriage. And if you insist, then you are asked to see a therapist who will further take you on the dangers. So I will propose that, yes, it's something that's already with us, but we should have a way.
Thank you, your time is off.
It's not legislating love, but it's at least bringing the information close to the people as to dangers that they are walking themselves into. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Kaila Sumaila Dahua, doctor. He's a medical doctor, he's a consultant for that matter. So let's hear your own, professional perspective on this.
Thank you, Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues. My name is Senator Dr. Sam. A lot about this disease, but the only thing I want to add is, yes, this is one of the worst diseases as a doctor that I would want to see in a hospital, because one, the pain is very excruciating. The patients are always young people, small children. But most importantly, I want to tell us that this disease is the most racist disease in that it affects only the black people. And not only the black people, you only find it in West Africa. Wherever you see it, even in the US or wherever, that person, his descendants must have descended from West Africa. Now, the reason why we cannot get a breakthrough on this disease is because the big pharma do not have any incentive whatsoever to invest money in research, in development of drugs and palliatives for these patients. Therefore, what I am supporting 100% this bill, and I'm commending Senator Katung, what we are doing today, we are doing it on behalf of the black race, and we are doing it on behalf of West Africans, because we are the only people that will finance this thing, finance research. And as I said, this disease, the good thing about it is 100% preventable. So we should also advocate for prevention, and I think if we can do that, we will do a lot to the black race and to West Africans. Thank you.
I thought that now there's a new cure. A cure has been found.
There is no cure for sickle cell. Anything that we do is palliative. It's just to make the life better and the disease more palatable. But the truth is there's no cure. All the cures we are talking about are practically theoretical than real, yes.
Thank you. Now the doctor has spoken. Senator Buenos Yaro, can we give you half it, because the doctor has spoken, maybe we give you, we give you half a minute so they can, so you, after you, then Victor Ome, and then last but not least, Peter Jia will close the debate.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, Dino Siaro, Adama South. You need to know a patient that is suffering from this disorder to know, to appreciate the seriousness of the situation. This bill is apt, it should be supported and passed, as the Chief Whip always says, with the speed of light. I so submit. Thank you.
Thank you very much by taking half a minute to say your contribution. Victor, may you also have a minute? I hope you do like the way you did.
I'll try as much as you did. Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Senator Victor Ume, OFR. I represent Anambra Central Senatorial District. Mr. President, I rise to thank Senator Katung for this bill, particularly the objectives of the bill. The six sickle cell disorder and therapy centers, with one in each of the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria. Sickle cell anemia is a very heavy burden on families. Most children die in their early stages, sometimes 14, 10 years. But the important thing here is that we need to combine palliative measures with educational enlightenment of parents. Before marriages, couples should be encouraged to go and get their genotype tested and established. There are genotypes that will combine and produce sickle cell. AS and AS, the likelihood of SS coming will be there. So we need to enlighten people when they go for these checks.
And you have 2 seconds remaining.
They will be able to select their partners, and this scourge, which is heavy on families, will be contained and minimized. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Peter Jia. Half a minute, sorry.
Mr. President, colleagues, thank you for this opportunity to contribute to this discussion on the sickle cell issue. While I support Senator Katung for this bill and appreciate him for it, I would like to state emphatically that there is no cure for now for this disease, as has been earlier stated. Worldwide, the population of sickle cell carriers is about 7.4 million, and Nigeria alone carries over 4 million. I've been privileged not only to know those who suffer from it and their children, but I have been privileged to handle a company that produces drugs for sickle cell in Nigeria, which was set up in the Obasanjo years as president. Unfortunately, the company has gone into comas and is not producing. But while it produced, the product, which was called Nicosan, assisted patients so much that they could live on it without crisis for their lives, throughout their lives. But unfortunately, it's gone down. And I think as this bill will go to the committee, we should look at this aspect. Setting up centers without enough drugs for these centers to apply to those who suffer from these drugs, as good as it is not enough. And as the bill goes to the committee, I think cognizance should be taken of this fact that we have what it takes to produce drugs for sickle cell carriers in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Senator Bisagba, you have, he's no longer interested in making his contribution on this debate. So on this note that I thank everyone for their contributions, and we now put the question. Those in favor that this bill be read the second time, please say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to establish sickle cell disorder research and therapy centers to expand access to specialized sickle cell disorder care, improve data collection and research support, education and assistance for parents, families, providers, communities affected by sickle cell disorder, to provide a legal framework for the due management and administration of centers and for related matters 2025 SB 893, second reading.
A bill for an act to establish the sickle cell disorder research and therapy centers to expand access to specialized sickle cell disorder care, improve data collection and research, support education and assistance for patients, families, providers, and communities affected by sickle cell disorder, to provide legal framework for the due management and administration of the centers and for latest matters 2025, second reading taken. This bill is referred to the Committee on Health, Secondary and Tertiary to report back within 4 weeks. I commend Senator Marshall for bringing forward this bill. It's something that will try to find succor for those who are suffering for this unfortunate ailment, which they inherited from their parents. And as the bill moves further, we should try to, to encompass the idea of prevention, so that we will not have more of those who be suffering from this disease in the future. And we should find every way possible to get succor for those who are having this ailment. For those who contributed, we thank you very much for your wonderful contributions. The clerk of the leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the third order of the day is the second reading of the Factoring Regulation Bill 2025 SB 474. The distinguished senator will recall that the bill was read the first time in the chamber on Tuesday, 11 June 2025. Mr. President, you may wish to invite Senator Azuko Ekpeyong to move the motion for the bill to be read the second time.
Senator Azuko Ekpeyong, Chairman of the Senate Committee on NDDC, the floor is yielded to you to move the motion for the second reading of your bill.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, it is with a profound sense of duty and commitment to our nation's progress that I rise today to lead the debate on the Factoring Regulation Bill 2024.
No, you can go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. Once again, my name is Asuko Ekpeyong, Senator representing Cross River South. This crucial piece of legislation, which was read for the first time on the 11th of June 2024, directly addresses one of the most persistent challenges faced by our small businesses: delayed payments. Across the country, MSMEs deliver goods or services, issue invoices, and then wait 30, 60, or sometimes 90 days before receiving payment. In the meantime, they struggle to pay workers, purchase raw materials, or accept new orders. This cycle of weak cash flow not only traps small businesses, but also slows down our economy's overall growth. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, MSMEs are the backbone of our economy, over 40 million strong. They provide the bulk of jobs and contribute significantly to national output. Yet most remain excluded from affordable credit because traditional bank lending depends on collateral they often do not have. The result is a structural cash flow trap that limits their survival, expansion, and competitiveness. Factoring provides a tested solution. Instead of waiting months for payment, a business can sell its verified invoice to a licensed factor. whether a finance company or bank, at a small discount. The factor immediately pays most of the invoice value, often up to 90%, and later collects from the buyer when payment is due. Unlike a bank loan, which relies on collateral or the SME's own credit history, factoring is based on the buyer's credit worthiness and the validity of the invoice. In this way, businesses can access financing on the strength of their sales and not their fixed assets. Given that invoice factoring constitutes a financial service and involves the trading of receivables as financial assets, it falls naturally within the regulatory purview of the Securities and Exchange Commission, whose mandate is to protect investors, ensure market integrity, and foster confidence in Nigeria's financial markets. The bill before us establishes the legal framework, safeguards, and transparency mechanism necessary for factoring to thrive responsibly in Nigeria. It provides for the licensing and supervision of finance companies engaged in factoring, ensures that costs and fees are disclosed in plain language, and makes invoice transfers legally enforceable to avoid disputes. It further aligns with ongoing digital reforms such as e-invoicing and receivable registries, which reduce fraud and make verification faster. Importantly, it encourages government agencies and large corporations to support supplier financing programs that allow MSMEs to access early payments at low cost. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the benefits of this bill are clear and immediate. For MSMEs, faster access to cash, stronger inventories, timely payrolls, and the confidence to accept bigger orders. For the economy, shorter cash cycles, reduced informality, better payment discipline, and increased investors' confidence in a transparent, well-regulated asset class. International experience shows the transformative potential of factoring. In Mexico, the government's Cadenas Productivas program unlocked billions of dollars in working capital for small suppliers. In India, online platforms made it possible for MSMEs to finance invoices from both private and public sector buyers. In Chile, electronic invoicing deepened the factoring market, while in Brazil, reforms to receivable registry opened safe access to credit for smaller firms. Even closer to home, South Africa has seen significant growth in supply chain finance to support its smaller suppliers. Industry analysts indicate that with clear rules, Nigeria could unlock over $1 billion annually for small businesses through factoring funds that directly supports jobs, production, and local value chains. To ensure responsible growth, this bill mandates periodic reporting on volumes, delinquency trends, buyer concentration, and MSME participation so that the regulator can monitor performance and adjust rules as necessary. It also commits to MSME literacy through standardized term sheets, plain language contracts, and cost disclosure templates, ensuring that small businesses can use these tools safely and effectively. Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, this is not another short-term credit scheme. It is a structural reform, one that converts invoices that MSMEs already hold into usable capital. By passing this bill, we will empower Nigerian businesses to hire faster, restock sooner, and grow stronger without resorting to expensive collateral-backed debt. I therefore respectfully urge my distinguished colleagues to give their full support to this bill at second reading. Thank you very much.
Senator Garba Musa Medoki.
Sorry, the Senate President, my distinguished colleagues.
Senator Garba Musa is still analog, it's not digital.
My name is Senator Garba Musa Maidoki, representing the good people of Kebbi South Senatorial District. I rise to second the motion ably moved by Senator Epeong on factorizing of invoices so that SMEs can have ready-made access to continue operating their business and all the necessary advantages that arise. I also wish to say one or two things on factorization, sir. Invoices that comes with terms, particularly government invoices that have 30-day maturity or 40 days leave. We must put it in this law that once those period for which the invoices stated that it must be paid has not been paid, that interest must be paid to those invoices until the day they are paid. If we do not regulate how invoices are dumped by different organizations, either government or private, then it means whether we factorize the value for which we want to achieve will be misdirected. I so submit. Thank you.
Senator Abdullah Yahya, former leader of the Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm Yahya Abdullahi, representing Kebbi North. Mr. President, this bill is a very important bill, particularly because of the nature of our economy. Our economy, just like he has rightly said, is dominated by the informal sector, a lot of which the micro, small, and medium enterprises prevail. So I think the issues about factorization in order to boost their efficiency is a very important milestone that we should attain in order to bring up these enterprises to the level that they can be properly regulated and taxed. But one issue which I just want us to remember is that a similar bill on this issue, I can remember, was presented by distinguished Senator Abiru, I think before we went on recess. So I will recommend that this issue be taken to the Committee on Banking with Senator Asuko together with Abiru so that they can harmonize the two bills together. And let's fast track their presentation, so that a third reading can be made, and let's prepare the bill for both the House of Representatives and also for assent by Mr. President. But I think it's a very important issue, and I think we should prioritize the work on these two bills so that we can be able to resolve this issue once and for all. Thank you, Mr. President.
Those in favor that this bill now be read the second time, please say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Let me commend Senator Asuko for bringing forward this bill. As said earlier, this bill will certainly, when passed into law, help in strengthening our economy, because the informal sector and the small and medium scale enterprises are the dominant entities that we have in our economy. And in fact, they are the backbone of our economy. So any move to assist them in this direction will help in strengthening these entities and so strengthening our economy, bringing more vibrancy to our economy. So I commend you very well for your foresight. I'm not surprised because I'm an economist, a former Minister of Commissioner of Finance. So you've done very well. This is highly commendable. I also commend those who contributed to the debate on this very important bill. So this bill is now, as I said by the former leader, there's a need for consolidation, for harmonization of the one that was earlier brought by Senator Abiru with yours, so that we can have a very, very formidable act when passed into law that will help to strengthen our small and medium small and medium enterprises. So the bill is referred to the Committee on Banking, Insurance and Financial Institution to report back within 2 weeks. Can you use your mic?
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Senator Izunaso. I represent Imo West. If you look at the bill, the motion for this bill, if you go to second page, you will see where the mover of the bill is saying that it should be referred to SEC. And if it should be referred to SEC, then it should go to Committee on Capital Market, as well as banking.
Well, Senator Osinaso, you are a very, very experienced legislator who passed through the House of Representatives before coming down here. You know, this is something that is within the purview of Committee on Banking. I'm afraid we cannot do that joint referral. And I know you know what I'm talking about. So your observation is overruled. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished colleague, the fourth order of the day is presentation and consideration of the report of the Committee on Trade and Investment on the confirmation and nomination of the following persons as listed on the order paper for appointment as executive commissioners of Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. Mr. President, you may wish to invite...
Sorry. Clerk of Senate, please move that the bill be read the second time, please. I mean, read the bill, the second time.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to provide for the regulation and promotion of factoring services in Nigeria, facilitating access to finance for micro, small, and medium enterprises, and ensuring transparency and for related matters 2025 SB 474. Second reading.
Good morning, sir. Yes, sir. A bill for an act to provide for the regulation and promotion of factoring services in Nigeria, facilitating access to finance for micro, small, and medium enterprises, and ensuring transparency and for related matters 2025, second reading taken. Well, let me just emphasize again, I've said it earlier, the bill is referred to the Committee on Banking, Insurance, and Financial Institutions to report back within 2 weeks. Leader, you can continue. Continue. Sadiq Suleiman is not even here.
So, Mr. President, you may wish to invite Senator Adegbomire, who is standing in for Senator Suleiman Umar Sadiq, Chairman of Committee, to move the motion for presentation and consideration of the report.
Senator Ayodele, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, Adeni Adegbomire, Ondo Central. Distinguished colleagues, I stand before you this afternoon to move a motion that the Senate do receive and consider the report of the Committee on Trade and Investment as it relates to the confirmation of the appointment of executive commissioners for the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, namely Mr. Louis Odion and Ajia Isiaku Rabiu. I respectively move, sir.
Chief Benson Agadaga, can you please second the motion as moved by Senator Adeni Ayodele?
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, Benson Sunday Agadaga, Senator representing Bayelsa East Senatorial District, I rise to second the motion ably moved by the distinguished senator on this subject matter. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Those in favor of the motion as moved by the Senior Advocate of Nigeria say aye, and seconded by Senator Agadaga say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. You may proceed to submit your report.
Thank you, Mr. Senate President. Distinguished colleagues, this is a report of the Committee on Trade and Investment on the screening of the nominations for appointment as Executive Commissioners of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. In order to save time and brevity, I will just summarize. The two nominations were for the appointment of Mr. Louis Odion, who is from Edo South Senatorial District, and Ajia Isiaku Rabiu from Kano Northwest Senatorial District, by Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, pursuant to the provisions of Section 5, subsections 1 and 3 of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Act 2018. For the avoidance of doubt, these provisions stipulate as follows. 1. All board members, after coming into force of this act, shall be appointed by the President in accordance with this act from the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria, subject to confirmation by the Senate. And 3, subsection 3, each commissioner shall serve for a term of 4 years from the date of appointment, at the expiration of which the President may renew his term for a further term of 4 years and no more. The nominations of Mr. Louis Odion and Ajia Isiaku Rabiu for appointment as Executive Commissioners of the FCCPC is made, therefore, pursuant to the provisions of Section 4, subsection 2 of the FCCPC Act 2018, which says that the board shall consist of 8 commissioners made up of 1, a chairman, 2, a chief executive, 3, 2 executive commissioners, and 4 non-executive commissioners. We did carry out the screening on Thursday, 9th October 2025. The nominees appeared before the committee for the screening exercise. The committee interviewed the nominees and received explanations regarding their qualifications, experiences, suitability, competence, integrity to assume the position of executive commissioners in the following order. 1. Subparagraph 3.1 at page 3. Mr. Louis Odion, who is from Ovia Northeast Local Government, was born on 25th March 1973. Mr. Luis Odion had his National Service Youth Corps between 1999
you don't need to read that, just summarize and don't go forward.
The second was Ajia Isiaku Rabiu. General observations and findings. At the end of the exercise, this was our recommendation. The Senate Committee on Trade and Investment, having screened the nominees, carefully scrutinized their credentials and be satisfied with their performances, experiences, qualifications, and competence, hereby recommends as follows: that the Senate do confirm the nominations of Mr. Louis Odion and Ajia Isiaku Rabiu for appointment as Executive Commissioner Operations and Corporate Services, respectively, of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. I so move.
Leader, I don't think there's any comment. You may move that the Senate resolve to the Committee of the Whole to consider the report.
Mr. Senate President, I stand to move a motion that we resolve into Committee of Whole to consider the report.
Minority Leader.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I rise to second the motion that the Senate resolves into the Committee of the Whole to consider the report.
Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Approval. Mr. Louis Odion from Edo State for appointment as Executive Commissioner Operation of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. Those in favor, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. That Hajia Salma Isiaka Rabiu from Kano State for appointment that the Senate approves the appointment of Hajia Salma Isiaka Rabiu from Kano State as Executive Commissioner, Corporate Services of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Senate Leader, can you move that the Senate move to revert to that the Senate revert to plenary to report progress?
Mr. President, I stand to move a motion for the Senate to revert back to plenary for Mr. President to report progress.
Minority Leader.
Mr. President, sitting as chair, I second the motion that the Senate reverts to plenary to enable the chair report progress. I so second.
Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Report. The Senate in the Committee of the Whole consider the report of the Committee on Trade and Investment on the screen of Mr. President's nominees for appointment as Executive Commissioners of Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, and approve the nominations of 1, Mr. Louis Odion from Edo South, Executive Commissioner Operation, Hajia Salma Isiaka Rabiu, who is from Kano State, the northwestern parts of this country, as Executive Commissioner, Corporate Services. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Confirmation. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Mr. Louis Odion from Edo State for appointment as Executive Commissioner Operations of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Mr. Louis Odion from Edo State is hereby confirmed as Executive Commissioner, Operation of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. Number 2, will the Senate confirm the nomination? Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Hajia Salma Isiaka Rabiu from Kano State for appointment as Executive Commissioner, Corporate Services of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission? Those in favor of her confirmation say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Hajia Salma Isiaka Rabiu from Kano State is hereby confirmed as Executive Commissioner, Corporate Services of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. Let me congratulate Mr. Louis Odion and my junior sister, Hajia Salma Isiaka Rabiu, for their confirmation. Well, first of all, for their nomination by Mr. President and confirmation by the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for the 2 positions. Aforementioned, positions. Their appointment is a call to serve their fatherland. We know they have all it takes to serve the nation in these 2 capacities. Hajia Salma is someone that particularly she's known to me, and we know her as someone who is full of energy and passion to serve the nation, to serve our nation. And we call on her not to falter, but to continue on the the route she has taken, which she has shown passion for, always to continue to work for the for this country. And we hope that she will use this position to further the interests of Nigeria through her new office. Once again, congratulations to both of them. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. Senate President, distinguished colleagues, the fifth order of the day is presentation and consideration of reports of Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters on the confirmation of nomination of Professor Yusuf Muhammad, representing Northeast Geographical Zone, for appointment as Commissioner of Nigerian Law Reform Commission. Mr. President, you may wish to invite Senator Adegbomire Adeniyi Ayodele, Chairman of the committee, to move the motion for presentation and consideration of the report.
We're leaving by 3. Sorry.
Mr. President, I second the motion moved by the Senate leader. I so second.
Those in No, it wasn't the motion. In next order, I will now call on Senator Adeni Ayodele Adegbomire to submit his report for consideration.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, Adeni Adegbomire, Ondo Central. I stand before you this afternoon to move a motion that the Senate do receive and consider the report of the Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters on the confirmation of the nomination of Professor Yusuf Mohammed for appointment as Commissioner of the Nigerian Law Reform Commission. I so move.
Senator Ibrahim Kwambo Hussein, can you second the motion? Second the motion as moved by Senator Ayodele Adeniyi. You just need to second the motion. Simple. I second the motion.
Your Excellency, my name is Senator Ibrahim Dankombo, representing Gombe North. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my distinguished senator on the proposed report that it should be submitted. Thank you.
Well guided. Well guided. You see, he's now getting more experienced, so he didn't falter. That's what experience, is good. That's why it's good to be experienced. You are now ranking. So those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. You may wish to resubmit your report.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, this is a report of the Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters on the confirmation of nomination of Professor Yusuf Mohammed as a Commissioner of the Nigerian Law Reform Commission.
Yeah, go.
At the screening of the nominee, Professor Yusuf Mohammed, the committee considered his CV, asked him questions, and at page 3, paragraph 5, you have our observations. The committee, after the screening, has deliberated on the nominee's suitability for appointment as a full-time commissioner of the Nigerian Law Reform Commission. Hereby makes the following observations and findings. 1, that the appointment of the nominee satisfies the requirements of section 2, subsections 1 and 2 of the Nigerian Law Reform Commission Act. 2, that the nominee possesses the requisite qualifications. 3, that there is no petition against the nomination of the nominee. 4, there are no adverse reports against the nominee. 5, that the committee is satisfied with his qualifications, etc. And lastly, that the nominee is a fit and proper person for the appointment. Recommendation. The Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters has scrutinized the CV and other accompanying documents of the nominee and recommends as follows. That the Senate do approve the confirmation of the nomination of Professor Yusuf Mohammed from the Northeast for appointment as a full-time commissioner of the Nigerian Law Reform Commission. I so move.
Without any comment, the Senate leader may move that the Senate revert to Committee of the Whole to
Mr. President,
report.
I stand to move a motion that the Senate resolve to Committee of Whole to consider the report. I so move.
The minority leader.
Mr. President, I second the motion that the Senate resolves into the Committee of the Whole to consider the report. I so second.
Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Approval. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Professor Yusuf Mohammed, representing Northeast Geopolitical Zone, for appointment as Commissioner of the Nigerian Law Reform Commission? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The leader of the Senate, can you now move a motion for the Senate to revert to plenary to report progress?
Mr. President, I stand to move a motion that the Senate do revert to plenary to report progress.
Minority leader.
Mr. President, sitting as chair, distinguished colleagues, I second the motion that the Senate reverts to plenary to enable the chair report progress. I so
Those
second.
in favor of the motion to move that was moved by the Senate leader and seconded by minority leader say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Report. The Senate and the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters on the screen of Mr. President's nominee for appointment as a Commissioner of the Nigerian Law Reform Commission, NLRC, and approved the nomination of Professor Yusuf Mohammed from the Northeast as the Commissioner of the Nigerian Law Reform Commission. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Confirmation. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Professor Yusuf Mohammed, representing Northeast Geographical Zone, for the appointment as Commissioner of the Nigerian Law Reform Commission? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Professor Yusuf Mohammed, representing Northeast Geopolitical Zone, is hereby confirmed as Commissioner of the Nigerian Law Reform Commission. Let me congratulate Professor Yusuf Mohammed for his appointment, for his nomination first, and then confirmation by the Senate. His appointment is a call to serve our nation. Based on his pedigree and track record, we do hope that he will do what is expected of him in making sure that he works in the best manner possible in serving the nation and protecting the interests of our country. Once again, congratulations and wish him good luck. The Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, the 6th to 10th orders of the day are House bills for concurrence as listed on the order paper. Mr. President, for inter-chamber reciprocity, I will present a single lead debate on the bills. Mr. President, lead debate on the bills for concurrence from the House of Representatives, sponsored by the Senate leader. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, permit me to lead the debate on these important bills from the House of Representatives for concurrence of the Senate. Number one, Nigerian Corrections Service Trust Fund, Establishment Bill 2025, HB 686. This bill seeks to establish Nigerian Corrections Service Trust Fund to provide funds to facilitate the actualization of the mandate of Nigerian Correctional Service for capacity building of personnel of the service to enhance their preparedness to effectively discharge their constitutional responsibility of protecting life and provide state-of-art security equipment and machinery, as well as improve the welfare of inmates and support staff. Number two, Federal College of Nursing and Midwifery, Ikusu, Moba, Ekiti State, Establishment Bill 2024, HB 782. This bill seeks to provide for the establishment of Federal College of Nursing and Midwifery, Ikusu, Moba, Ekiti State, and to provide training and research in general nursing, midwifery, and other specialties of nursing. Number three, Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board Act, Amendment Bill 2025, HB 2193. This bill seeks to amend the Orthopedic Hospital Management Board Act to provide for establishment of Orthopedic Hospital Yauri in Kebbi State. Number four, Federal Medical Center Act Amendment Bill 2025, HB 91. This bill seeks to amend the Federal Medical Center Act 2022 to provide for establishment of Medical Center, Rano, in Kano State. Number five, Export Prohibition Act, Repeat Bill 2025, HB 246. This bill seeks to repeal the Export Prohibition Act, E22, Act of Federation of Nigeria 2004, so as to provide for unhindered exportation of commodities on the absolute prohibition list. Mr. President, my respected colleagues, this bill is straightforward and have gone through necessary legislative processes in the House of Representatives. I therefore urge you all to support the second reading of this bill as you refer them to the Committee of Whole for clause-by-clause consideration. Thank you, Mr. President.
Manuel, can you please second?
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I want to second the motion for the second reading of these bills from the House of Representatives for concurrence. And Mr. President, with your indulgence, I'll make a few remarks. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, these are bills for concurrence, and it has been the practice of the National Assembly, particularly the Senate.
Please add that, you also second the motion that we should...
I've seconded the motion.
About that, that we should go to Committee of the Whole to consider something.
This is second reading. He led the debate on them. So I thought that if I contribute, then we can now move a motion for... Sir?
You are making contribution now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. President, in my contribution to this second reading of these bills for concurrence, I want to say that it has been the practice of the National Assembly, particularly the Senate, to, in the principle of reciprocity, concur with our colleagues in the House of Representatives, believing that these bills would have gone through all the crucibles of the legislative activities of the House of Representatives to warrant our concurrence in this chamber. I therefore want to say, Mr. President, that what the Senate leader has done in leading the debate on the 5 bills accord with our practice. And consequently, I will urge my colleagues to accept these bills as coming from our colleagues who have done thorough jobs on them and pass them as quickly as possible. I so submit, Mr. President.
Thank you very much for showing an outstanding experience in this business of legislature. What you said is correct. We, normally don't indulge in much debate on bills that are presented to us from the House of Reps for concurrence, except where there's a very, very fatal error in such legislation. Otherwise, we show, because of reciprocity, I mean, we want to be reciprocal in our approach, we allow those bills to pass through, except where there are fatal errors, where there are serious errors. For that reason, let me now put the question. Those in favor that this bill be now read the second time, please say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to establish the Nigerian Correctional Service Trust Fund and provide a legal framework for the management and control of the trust fund and for related matters 2025 HB 686, second reading. Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of Federal College of Nursing and Midwifery, Ikosu, Moba, Ekiti State, and for related matters 2025 HB 782, second reading. Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to amend the Orthopedic Hospital Management Board, Act Cap 010, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2024, to provide for the establishment of the Orthopedic Hospital, Yauri, Kebbi State, under the control of the Orthopedic Hospital Management Board, affiliated to the Federal University, Birnin Kebbi Teaching Hospital, and for related matters 2025 HB 2193, second reading. Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act 2022 to provide for the establishment of the Federal Medical Center, Ranukanu State, and for related matters 2025 HB 91, second reading. Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to repeal the Export Prohibition Act, Cap E22, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2024, and for related matters 2025 HB 2460, second reading.
A bill for an act to establish the Nigerian Correctional Service Trust Fund and provide a legal framework for the management and control of the trust fund and for related matters 2025, HB 686, second reading taken. A bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Federal College of Nursing and Midwifery, Ikosu, Moba, Ekiti State, and for related matters 2025, HB 782, second reading taken. A bill for an act to amend the Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board Act Cap 010, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 to provide for the establishment of the Orthopedic Hospital Yauri, Kebbi State, under the control of the Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board, affiliated to Federal University, Benin Kebi Teaching Hospital, and for related matters 2025 HB 2193 second reading taken. A bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act 2022 to provide for the establishment of the Federal Medical Center, Reno. Let me come again. A bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act 2022 to provide for the establishment of Federal Medical Center, Reno, Kano State, and for related matters 2025 HB 91 second reading taken. A bill for an act to repeal the Export Prohibition Act, Cap E22, laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, and for related matters 2025, HB 2460, second reading taken. The Senate Leader.
Mr. Senate President, distinguished colleagues, pursuant to Order 78.3, I move that the bill be now referred to Committee of Whole for consideration.
Minority Leader.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I support the motion that the bills be referred to the Committee of the Whole for further legislative action. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. With the Nigeria Correctional Service Trust Fund Establishment Bill 2025. Those in favor that clauses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 10 stands part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor that clauses 1 to 25 stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor that the explanatory memorandum of page 12 stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. The Federal College of Nursing and Midwifery, Ikosa, Moba, Ekiti State. Those in favor that clauses 1 to 10 stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor that clauses 1 to 38 stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor that the explanatory memorandum on page 16 stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Orthopedic Hospital Management Board Act, Amendment Bill 2025. Those in favor that clauses 1 to 4 stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor that the explanatory memorandum stand part of the bill on page 1, stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Federal Medical Centers Act Amendment Bill 2025, HB 91. Those in favor that clauses 1 to 3 stand pass of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor that the explanatory memorandum stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Export Prohibition Act, Repeal Bill 2025, HB 2460, HB 2460. Those in favor that clauses 1 and 2 stand pass of the bill, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor that the long title on page 1 stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor that the explanatory memorandum on page 1 stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The leader of the Senate, can you move that we will revert to the committee? No, that's all. Finish.
Mr. President,
Can you
I
move that?
stand to request, Mr. President,
Minority Leader.
Mr. President, sitting as chair, distinguished colleagues, I support the motion that the Senate reverts to plenary to enable the chair report progress. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Report. The Senate in the Committee of the Whole considered the Nigerian Correctional Service Trust Fund, Bill 2025, and approved as follows. Long title as recommended. Number of clauses as recommended. Interpretation as recommended. Short title as recommended. Schedule as recommended. Explanatory memorandum as recommended. It is a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole. The Senate in the Committee of the Whole considered the Federal College of Nursing and Midwifery Ikosu Mobile, Ekiti State, Establishment Bill 2025, and approved as follows. Long title as recommended. Number of clauses as recommended. Interpretation as recommended. Short title as recommended. Explanatory memorandum as recommended. It is a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole. The Senate in the Committee of the Whole considered the Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board at Amendment Bill 2025. Long title as recommended. Number of clauses recommended. Short title as recommended. Explanatory memorandum as recommended. It is a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole. The Senate in the Committee of the Whole considered the Federal Medical Centers Act Amendment Bill 2025 and approved as follows. Long title as recommended. Number of clauses as recommended. Short title as recommended. Explanatory memorandum as recommended. It is a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole. The Senate in the Committee of the Whole considered the Export Prohibition Act Bill 2025 and approved as follows. Long title as recommended. Number of clauses as recommended. Short title as recommended. Explanatory memorandum as recommended. It is a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole. The Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, I stand to move a motion that the bills be now read the third time. I so move.
The Minority Leader.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I support motion. I second the motion that the bill be read a third time. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Yuba. The clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to establish the Nigerian Correctional Service Trust Fund and to provide a legal framework for the management and control of the trust fund and for related matters 2025 HB 680, third reading. Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of Federal College of Nursing and Midwifery, ICOS MOBA, Ekiti State, and for related matters 2025 HB 782, third reading. Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to amend the Orthopedic Hospital Management Board, Act Cap 010, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2024, 2004, to provide for the establishment of the Orthopedic Hospital Yauri Kebbi State under the control of the Orthopedic Hospital Management Board, affiliated to the Federal University Brin Kebbi Teaching Hospital, and for related matters 2025 HB 2193, third reading. Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act 2022 to provide for the establishment of Federal Medical Center, Rano Kano State, and for related matters 2025 HB 91, third reading. Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to repeal the Export Prohibition Act, Cap E22, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and for related matters 2025 HB 2460, third reading.
A bill for an act to establish the Nigerian Correctional Service Trust Fund and provide a legal framework for the management and control of the trust fund and for related matters 2025, third reading taken and passed. A bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Federal College of Nursing and Midwifery, ICOSU MOBA, Ekiti State, and for related matters 2025, third reading taken and passed. A bill for an act to amend the Orthopedic Hospitals Management Bill, Board Act, Cap 010 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, to provide for the establishment of Orthopedic Hospitals Yauri, Kebbi State, under the control of the Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board, affiliated to the Federal University Benin Kebbi Teaching Hospital, and for related matters 2025, third reading taken and passed. A bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act 2022 to provide for the establishment of Federal Medical Center, Rano, Kano State, and for related matters 2025, third reading taken and passed. A bill for an act to repeal the Export Prohibition Act, Cap E222, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, for related matters 2025, third reading taken and passed. The Leader of the Senate.
Yes. Mr. Senate President, the last order of the day, and the most important one, for that matter, is the 11th order of the day. It's a motion standing in the name of Senator Buhari Abdul Fatai on the need to strengthen aviation safety following Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau report on the Air Peace runway overrun incident at Port Harcourt International Airport. Mr. President, you may wish to invite Senator Buhari Abdul Fattah to move a motion on the issue.
Senator Abdul Fattah Buhari, the Buhari of the Senate, the floor is either to you to move your motion. Chairman, Senate Committee on Aviation, move your motion.
Thank you. Buhari Abdul Fattah, or you're not?
Huh? Your objection is overruled.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for protecting me. Motion need to strengthen aviation safety following NSIB report on the airpiece runway overrun incident at Port Harcourt International Airport. The Senate note the report of the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, NSIB, on the runway overrun involving an airpiece Boeing 737-500 aircraft at the Port Harcourt International Airport in June 2025. Mr. President, the Senate also noted that while no life was lost, the incident exposed critical gap in safety standard, infrastructure management, and operational compliance within Nigerian aviation sector. Concern that the Nigeria has in recent years witnessed an increase in runway-related incidents, near misses, and operational safety challenges that, if not urgently addressed, could undermine public confidence in the aviation industry and endanger lives. Mr. President, the Senate are aware that the NSIB report enlightened deficiency in runway condition, airfield lighting, pilot decision-making, and regulatory oversight, which require urgent corrective measures. Recognize that aviation safety is vital to national security, economic growth, international reputation, as Nigeria aspires to remain the hub of air transport in Africa. Commend the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau for promptly releasing its investigative report, thereby enhancing transparency, accountability, and the culture of safety within the aviation sector. The Senate accordingly resolved, urge the Federal Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development, in collaboration with the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAM, to urgently implement the safety recommendation contained in the NSIB report. Also urge the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority to strengthen compliance, monitoring conduct routine, audit of airport facility, enforce strict adherence to international safety standards by operators. Further urge the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria to prioritize rehabilitation of runways, provision of airfield lighting, and installation of modern navigational aids across the nation airport, beginning with the Port Harcourt International Airport. Mr. President, mandate the Committee on Aviation to engage with all relevant stakeholders, including the NSIB, NCAA, FAN, NAMA, and the airline operators, with a view to ensuring full implementation of safety recommendations and to report back to the Senate within 6 weeks. Mr. President, I so move.
Senator Ojikalo, you second the motion, then Senator Goje will round off because of time.
Thank you, Mr. President. I thank you in seconding this motion. I would like to make a few comments. It's not only what our colleagues have written in the paper. The authorities that look after, I've seconded, I say it's seconding the motion. I've seconded it, and I'm making a few comments. I feel that the authorities guiding this pilot, some of them are very lousy. In many occasions, I've stopped to fly because of inadequacy of pilots' preparation. Some of the pilots are not prepared. Some of them use India hemp. Yes, it's true. Some of them smoke India hemp, and some of them are not properly audited by the authorities.
I am telling you what I know because the NCA and NEMA and other authorities are not looking after these pilots and checking them on drugs. On the spot assessment, they are not doing it because it is dangerous. And you see them walking into the airplane, nobody checked their blood pressure, nobody checked anything, nothing, and their drug level. That not that aircraft, most of it 737-500 have a automatic landing gear system. It doesn't need the pilot to land the plane. What needs to land the plane is the computer, autopilot. But because some of them are high, they are not going to do this thing. Because any aircraft that is of new generation don't need a pilot to fly. Landing and takeoff is purely automatic. So most of these pilots are so careless. I have witnessed, I have seen by myself, I've come to fly. I told my pilots, I said, no. I don't think we are normal today. You have to go back home. So all these agencies must come back home to look after these pilots and what do you call them? And the cabin staff. Because some of them take this India hemp like cigarette. They won't tell you. If you go close to them, you will smell it. So NCA must come back to their duty because, again, the Minister of Aviation must be forced to do a quarterly maintenance.
Your time is off.
Eh?
Your time is off.
Yes, to do quarterly maintenance on the runways.
Chief
Emeritus. Some of the runways are not in good shape. Nigeria must preserve to service the runways because when you leave these runways, pilots will be avoiding the pothole in
Thank you very much. Nobody will take your contribution with levity because you were once an owner of an airline. What's the name of that? Your former airline? Coal. Yes. So it's somebody who has experience because he once owned an airline. Yes. So, but this is frightening. We have to, Chairman, you need to take note of all what he has said. Very, very frightening. Senator Mohammed Goji.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am Mohammed Anjuma Goje, representing Gombe Central, Gombe State. Mr. President, I stand to support this motion. Unlike the previous speaker, I'm not going into details of the problems of the airlines because I think it's also not good to discuss this kind of problems in details because some of these things will discourage people from, it's very frightening to discourage people from flying the Nigerian aircrafts. So I think the important thing is for the committee to seriously do an oversight as requested. If the NCA, the NAMA, they are not doing their job, it's the responsibility of the committee to go and find out and report back, and then we take necessary action. So I think beyond urging this Senate to do this motion and grant these prayers, the committee on aviation needs to sit up. We don't play with aviation because it's a question of matter of life and death. Any small mistake will lead to loss of lives. Mr. President, I support this motion, but when we come to the prayers, we will request the committee. We have to be more specific and ensure the committee does its job to ensure compliance with all necessary rules and regulations. Finally, I will see this opportunity to urge the Federal Minister of Aviation to intensify efforts to at least construct an additional runway in Abuja. Many times now these days when you are coming from outside, you'll be delayed 1, 2, 3 hours saying that they are working on the runway in Abuja. It's very inconvenient and also is not consistent with the status of Abuja because Abuja is a very busy place now. So Mr. President, in supporting this motion, maybe I'll put it at
sixth prayer, but this additional runway is very, very important. Thank you, Mr. President.
I think Senator Mohamed Goji has spoken, that there should be, the committee should embark on proper investigation and submit a report for further consideration by the Senate. So I think we should allow that instead of overflogging the matter at this stage. We should allow the committee to do more job, go into full investigation, because the matter is frightening, as said by the former chief whip, who was an owner of an airline. Probably the airline has been relocated to somewhere, maybe in the Caribbean or who knows. So, who is going to couch, former Senate leader, can you couch a single prayer? Or we give you the chance to do that, a single prayer that will allow for investigation?
Mr. President, I am Yahya Abdullahi, representing Kebbi North in the Senate. I rise to propose a prayer that this Senate do mandate the Committee of Aviation to conduct, that due to the very frightening nature of the issues raised in the motion and the issues raised by senators on their debate on the motion, the Senate do mandate the Committee on Aviation to conduct a thorough investigation of these issues that have endangered aviation in Nigeria and report back to the Senate within 2 weeks.
Second, Senator Osita Zenaso.
My name is Senator Izunaso Osita, representing Mo West. I stand to second the motion, ably moved by the former leader of the Senate, that the Senate do mandate the Committee on Aviation to conduct a thorough investigation into the subject matter raised and report back to the Senate within 4 weeks. I so second.
You cannot amend while seconding.
No,
leave it. See.
No, he accepted the 4 weeks.
Oh, you have accepted?
Yes, yes.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
Thank you. Those in favor of the additional, the prayer as raised, as moved by the former Senate leader, Senator Abdullahi, seconded by Senator Osita Izenaso, please say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Additional prayer. Okay.
Urge the Ministry of Aviation to expedite efforts to ensure that a second runway is built for the Abuja International Airport.
Senator Goje, can you second?
Thank you, Mr. President. I hereby second the motion. The second prayer for the need to construct a second runway urgently in Abuja. Thank you.
Those in favor of this additional prayer raised by Senator Abdullahi and seconded by Senator Goje, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Let me commend Senator Buhari Abdul Fattah, Chairman of the Committee on Aviation, for bringing forward this motion. It's very, very important because aviation is an important sector of every economy. We cannot joke with the aviation sector. We should not handle with levity. If we do that, then we'll be injuring our economy, injuring the lives of our people. Very, very important. And I commend the Senate for the prayer being adopted that a thorough investigation should be made to unravel what is happening within that sector. And I call on the committee. I know it's headed by someone who is very, very diligent and reliable. a consummate legislator, well experienced, who started from the House of Reps to the Senate. I know he's going to do a good job with the members of the committee. Please do a wonderful job and submit your report within 4 weeks. Thank you very much. The Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, having concluded today's proceeding on the order paper, I hereby move that the Senate do adjourn till Thursday, 16 October 2025 at 11 a.m. prompt.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I second the motion that Senate adjourns till tomorrow for the next legislative day for further legislative activities. I so second.
But before putting the question, let me read an announcement, please. Well, it's quite announcement. There will be a valedictory session in the chambers of the House of Representatives in honor of departed former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Agunwa Adekwe, by 10 a.m. tomorrow, 16th day of October 2025. Distinguished senators are kindly invited to attend and pay their last respects to the departed Vice Chairman of the National Assembly. Signed, Senator Muhammadu Mongono, Senate Team Leader and former member of the House of Representatives in the Third Republic, 1992. Those in favor of the motion moved by the leader for adjournment to tomorrow and seconded by majority leader, please say aye. Those against say nay. Can I put the question again? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The Senate is hereby adjourned to tomorrow, the 16th of October 2025 at 10 a.m., 11 a.m. prompt.
What he said now? No.